Good afternoon and welcome to the first annual Greenwood Beat WFPG. I'm Heather, the Referea. And tonight is the first night for our show. I got a guest tonight. His name is Bernie. And Bernie gets on my nerves. But we're going to talk about some stuff that has to do with women's sports. Because women's sports is important. And Bernie kind of got in the way of me doing women's sports because he always has something smart aleck to say about women's sports, especially basketball, women's basketball.
Sure.
Why?
Why women's basketball?
Yes.
Well, here's the reason why. Because I like women's sports. I like almost all other women's sports.
It don't seem like it.
I watch them. They're entertaining. Oh.
Keep going.
Okay. But yeah, they're entertaining. I don't have any problem with watching them. It's just women's basketball is where the entertainment tends to fall wayside. The entertainment value in women's basketball is not as high as it is in men's basketball, but that doesn't seem to translate in any other sports. Other sports, women are just as exciting to watch as the men are.
You making my nerves. You shoot my nerves, brother. I'm telling you now. Women's basketball is the most fundamental basketball.
It is.
The most fundamental sport that women play.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
It's better than men's.
I mean, if you like...
All y'all do is run up and down the court and dunk.
And shoot threes from almost half court and,
Boy boo.
block shots and crossovers and, all that athletic stuff.
Well, we're going to dig deep into women's sports, and we're going to have you and another jerk on the show talking about women's sports. And I like the negativity y'all bring because it's an opportunity to beat you at something, especially with our words.
It's not negativity.
What is it?
It's just speaking facts. It really is just speaking facts about women's basketball. Like I said, the entertainment value is there for every other sport women play. It's just not there with women's basketball. And I don't know what the issue is, and I would like to see how they can fix it or whatever, but I don't think it can be fixed. I really just don't think it can be fixed, and I think, I don't think we need to give up on it. I think we just need to be realistic about the entertainment value in women's basketball. It's just not there. It really isn't.
I don't agree. I totally don't agree.
It doesn't matter if you agree with it because the ticket sales say otherwise. The ticket sales are the proof in the pudding.
We're going to get deep. Like I said, we're going to dig deep into women's sports, especially women's basketball, because the other jerk tends to do videos about basketball, women's basketball, and pokes fun of it. I'm going to have him on here, too. But there's other sports that we got to get into, too. Right now, there's the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. What you think about that?
I love Women's World Cup. A lot of people don't even watch the World Cup here in the United States, don't even watch the World Cup. So a lot of people probably don't even know that it's about to happen or is
it started.
Yeah.
It started.
So a lot of people don't even know it's even going on right now. But I love Women's World Cup. I love it.
Who you rooting for?
Always the U.S.
A1.
Always.
A1. And then I think my second choice is any African country.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But after that, it don't even matter after the USA.
But I like Jamaica.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
The U.S. plays Portugal, I think, tomorrow. When is the 5th? Oh, that's in about 3 days, Friday. Yeah. So they got 3 top players that are ranked in the top 25 in the World Cup. I know your wife is big on soccer.
Yes.
Why?
They call it football. Because she's from Kenya.
She's from Kenya.
Yes.
And she's also a long-distance runner because that's what they're known for, too. We're going to do a little bit of talking about long-distance running and short distance. We're going to talk about...
I'm going to adjust the seat because I can hear it squeaking on this microphone, so I want it to stop.
So...
There we go.
We got the World Cup. We got the WNBA. Right now it's in season. Softball just finished up. What else? Oh... You know what? I didn't keep track. I started watching following OU with the softball, but I meant to look up and see who won.
Well, we have the internet. We can always find that out, so that's not a big issue. But I know they got pretty far.
Yeah, they did. I know last year they won. And then when Kelsey played for OU, they won twice in a row. So OU is big on softball.
Right.
One thing I want to also talk about, today we're going to kind of keep it casual since it's the first show. We're getting things ready and prepped. We're going to spend a little time making sure the audience knows exactly what we're going to be doing and why this programming is so important. Women's sports is important for a lot of reasons. I remember when my daughter, Savannah, graduated from high school back in 2011, there was probably between 2009, and I know this because a coach had told me this, back between 2009 and 2015, some of the girls that played basketball in Tulsa Public Schools didn't even get to make it to play at the college level because they didn't know anything about the clearinghouse. You know anything about the clearinghouse? A lot of people don't.
No.
So we're going to learn about the clearinghouse. We're going to learn about NIL. You know what NIL is?
Yes.
What is it?
That's it's basically how college players are actually able to get paid now.
So it's your name, image, and likeness.
That's right, yeah.
And that's what you're getting paid off of. And it's a little bit of a controversy with NIL. I'm not a big fan of it. We're going to talk about that. I did call.
So why you're not a fan of it? I just want to touch on that real quick. What makes you not a fan of NIL?
I don't think the NIL should be making kids rich playing sports. What I do think they need to do is get kids paid. Because we know what NIL has. I mean, we know what kids before NIL struggled. They were eating Roman noodles. Some of them didn't even have washing powder to wash their clothes.
Right.
So I get that. But I think that now kids are using the NIL to be able to move from school to school.
No. Well, NIL is just basically, like you said, they're able to get paid outside of the college to go do whatever, right?
Yep.
So they can go work at car dealerships, work in, advertising. They can do, however they want to use their name, image, and likeness. They can attach it to endorsements. They can license their name out for use in other ways. They can do all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't make them able to move. I think it's a good thing because now they have the portal. College kids are able to move in the portal now, and I think that's what you're talking about. But that doesn't have anything to do with NIL.
No.
But it allows the college to be able to let kids go instead of trying to hold on to them, and makes the whole system more fluid, more like professional sports. I think it works for both the student and the.
I don't know. I know a lot of good coaches out there that play at they coach at the D1 level, and they're not too happy about the NIL. But I'm saying this not. I don't mind kids making money on the flip side. If they get a endorsement with Target, that's cool. But I'm talking about schools struggling to get good players because kids are asking them, well, I want $1 million contract. That's what's happening. These schools are struggling to be able to pay kids to get them to come to their school. And then I think the portal needs to be managed. So you can't be in the portal every year.
Why not?
You didn't like the coach yelling at you, so now you're going to move over to play for OU when you was at Texas, and then you left Texas and was at KU.
Well, that hurts the player. If you jumping in the portal that often, that hurts your player. I don't think that's something that a player really that wants to go far in sports would actually utilize that often. Because, that says a lot about you if you always in the portal trying to move from school to school. Nobody wants you. What's the issue? You must have an issue. So I don't think that's going to work out too good for the player to utilize it in that way. It should only be utilized if there's some situation where maybe you're not getting the playing time or you don't like the system, things like that. I would think that would help you. The portal will help you in those types of situations. But I don't think it should be used as like, oh, I can go over here and get more money or there and get more money. I don't think it should be used like that, and I don't think it is being used like that. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is.
It is.
Okay.
I know it
All
is,
right.
and I've heard coaches complaining about it.
Okay.
But we're gonna dig deep into that too.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back to the clearinghouse because the clearinghouse is one of the key, most important things, especially if a person is trying to make it to the D1 level. They have to be in that clearinghouse by the junior year.
Okay.
By the junior year. So a lot of times kids don't know that, and parents don't even know that the clearinghouse exists. So being aware of that is important. Also knowing about JUCOs. You know what JUCO is?
Yeah, junior college.
Yep, junior colleges. I remember when Savannah first got recruited, she was recruited by a large number of big-time colleges, but she chose to go to Grambling State University her first year, and then they ended up letting her college coaches go her first year, and she said, I'm not staying here, because the whole mission of her going to Grambling was they wanted to be the first school to make it to at least I think the
First
Elite
HBCU.
Eight. Yeah, the first HBCU. And when that didn't happen and they let her coaches go, she had to step down and go back down. She had to go down to a JUCO to get back up to a D1. But what ended up happening was, I think that was probably the best thing she ever did, was go to a JUCO.
Really?
And a JUCO, the reason why is because she ended up at the #1 JUCO in the country that had already won like 14, 15, 16 national titles. And the year that she made it to Trinity Valley, they won a national title that year. And so she was able to be recruited by Mississippi State.
Gotcha.
And the cool thing about junior colleges is it gives kids enough time to get prepared to make it to that D1 level or NAIA or wherever they plan on going. Or if they just choose to stay at that JUCO level and quit after that.
Yeah.
But JUCO is a good avenue for a lot of people that need work, especially academically, or they need work on their skill level.
Right. But, a lot of times, and that's the reason why your daughter probably had to step down to the JUCO level, because back then you could go to a D1 school, but you had to sit out 1 year, I believe. That's how it worked back then. So, I don't know, but when you go to JUCO, though, a lot of people that end up at JUCO, and I don't mean to talk bad about them. Heck, I never even played at that level. Those guys are good. They're skilled. They're really good. Or those women as well. They're really good even at the JUCO level. But a lot of them, the top people are actually going to the D1 colleges. They don't end up at JUCO. It's not a skill and development thing. There's very few people that make it out of JUCO that make it to the professional level. That's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of that situation. There are a few.
I beg to differ when it comes to women's sports, especially women's basketball. A lot of women that play on the pro level, quite a few of them came out of JUCO.
I can understand.
And now they're looking at JUCO players to play at the D1 level because of the NIL stuff that's going on. People want, I'm trying to think of what coach it was, Moki. What's her name? Her first name?
I don't know.
I call her Harper Valley PTA because her clothes always look like it. Moki, she used to be at Baylor, but now she's at LSU. She got a lot of girls from JUCO.
Really?
So a lot of these coaches are pulling from that JUCO level now because those are kids who are not looking for NIL. They looking to play on the D1 level. And they're disciplined.
I'm curious to know how, I could see in men's basketball, men's football, even probably men's baseball, NIL having some type of effect on. I really want to know, like, how many women women aren't even really making that money in the WNBA on the professional level. No, anyways, they got second jobs.
Yes.
No joke. They got, a lot of them got second jobs.
I know.
So I'm like, how much NIL money is there for college players? What are they getting? I don't know. I'm just curious to know, like, how is NIL affecting women's basketball?
Angel Reese is getting major money. That girl is probably a millionaire.
I don't doubt that there's a couple, but I'm just saying overall, there's probably like 5 that are making good money.
No.
How many people are making?
They making bank.
100,000.
They're making bank.
How many girls are making?
I wish we weren't on radio and we were sitting on the back porch because I'd call Savannah.
I just want to know how many women are in college sports making that kind of money. Like, I don't doubt there's some making a little bit.
They're making money. They're making more than somebody just straight like, playing WNBA.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of them making more than the WNBA players are. They might want to go back to school and get another degree.
But the cool thing is WNBA gets more attention, I think, than soccer, than softball, than gymnastics. I'm going to be honest. A couple of years ago.
What university do you live in? Who won the WNBA championship?
The Aces.
Las
Vegas Aces,
I had never heard of the Aces. I had never even heard of them. That's how much I don't watch the WNBA. We don't know when their championship is. Their season is like, what, 6 weeks?
No, sir. It is not. It starts
12.
in May and it ends in like June. Late September.
Okay.
Their season is right now.
Okay, so they're in the playoffs right now?
No, they're not. They're about to be.
Oh, okay.
They're about to be. But the WNBA gets way more attention than some of the other sports. And some of the other sports are exciting. I remember a couple of years ago, I went to Auburn University, spent like 8 days there.
Okay.
And I got tickets to go and watch gymnastics. I was shocked. They sold out the building compared to women's basketball.
The gymnastics did?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was surprised, but they also have Suni Lee on their team.
Okay.
And Suni Lee definitely had a big old following. If you don't know do you know who she is?
No.
And he has a daughter that's a gymnast.
I love my daughter. I don't love gymnastics. I love my daughter.
Suni Lee is a gold medalist.
Okay.
So she was in the Olympics. She went to college and she got a scholarship at Auburn University. This year, I think, was her last year because I think she has some kind of auto deficiency. I can't remember what it is. Okay. But she made a lot of money in the NIL too.
I bet.
But gymnastics, I mean, they sold out. Softball sold out.
How did basketball do?
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
I just want to know.
And let me tell the audience I can make this real clear.
Okay.
I am the biggest fan of women's basketball, and I am the biggest fan of tennis.
You are.
So if you're going to talk to me about basketball and tennis, you're going to get a battle.
All right.
You're going to get a battle.
See, women's tennis. I could watch women's tennis. I love it.
You love it? What's your favorite
I mean,
player?
I don't love it, but I can watch it. I can watch it and be entertained by it. I can sit and watch a full match. I can sit and watch women's tennis. I cannot sit through maybe a quarter of women's basketball. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I sound like a hater. And I'm not a hater. I am not a hater. I'm just saying, like, it just needs to be really talked about because it's not women bashing, because it sounds like it's women bashing. And all the men keep saying it. A lot of the men say, I know there's a lot of men that watch basketball. I got an uncle that watches women's basketball. He loves it. He stays up with it. Dad used to. But most men don't really get into it like that. Most men don't. And it's just because the entertainment is not there.
Well, I'm going to say this. When the Tulsa Shock was in Tulsa, they had one of their biggest followings was men, especially black men.
Okay.
Black men followed women's basketball, especially the Tulsa Shock.
I can probably see that.
That was Tulsa Shock was. It makes me depressed that they're no longer here. Matter of fact, let me skip to this right quick. Wait, let me say this. We will be talking about gymnastics. We will be talking about golf. Tulsa actually has a lady who moved here. Her name was Brianna Young. Her name is Brianna Young.
Okay.
She just made it into the Hall of Fame for golfers. She's a young black girl. Wow. She went to Pine Bluff. So we're going to have her on the show, too. She's going to talk about golf, and she wants to create a program here in Tulsa for kids to, and especially girls, to get involved in golf. Because if it doesn't do anything for you, it does relax you, and it also can get you a free ride to college. So she's going to do some programming around that. Boxing. I'm not a big fan of girls playing boxing, but people are.
Yeah.
That's not I just don't like to watch girls fight. It's ugly to me. I love to watch men fight. I wanted my brother to fight one time. I wanted these boys to beat him up just to see if he could fight, but he was a lover boy. He said he wasn't trying to hear all that. We're going to be talking about soccer, tennis, softball. We're going to talk about some other things, some other kind of sports that are out there that a lot of people don't pay much attention to.
Okay.
Other thing is we're going to have some topics that are kind of controversial. But I'm skipping around a little bit, but Glory Johnson, who played for the Tulsa Shock, she's going to be on the show. So we got some guests that are coming on real soon. We got Elaine Powell. She's a coach. I can't remember. She's with a pro team. I want to say it's Minnesota Mystics. Okay. She's going to come on and be interviewed by me. I met her back when Savannah played for Grambling. She was assistant coach for Grambling. She moved over to become the head coach at Langston University under Donita Rogers, who was the head coach at Grambling with Tony Green. Tony Green is now, I think, at Baylor. No, I think he's at Baylor. Tony Green done been everywhere. But he started out at Langston. Donita Rogers started out at Langston. Now we have, we're going to have Andrea Riley. She actually got drafted to the LA Sparks, which I think she ended up moving over to Tulsa Shock. She's going to be on the show. She was an OSU graduate. Glory Johnson was actually a player for Tennessee University of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So I met her when Pat Summitt was recruiting for Savannah. And Glory Johnson played on the team and ended up graduating from college and got drafted to the Tulsa Shock. So we would go and watch her play all the time. She's going to come on the show. We're going to have Bo Talley, who is married to the once head coach Fred Williams of the Tulsa Shock, who now is the associate head coach at Auburn University with Johnny Harris, who Johnny Harris used to be the head associate coach at Mississippi State when Savannah was a player there. So we're going to end up having Vic Schaefer on team, who is now the head coach at Texas, the Longhorns. I'm not a fan of them, but I want Vic on because Vic was my daughter's head coach. And he definitely creates a winning program. So I want him to come on and talk about his show. Talk about his programming. Johnny Harris, she's building Auburn University up. So we're going to have a lot of special guests come on. We're going to also work on getting some dream people. I want to get like Serena Williams.
Oh, good Lord. You're shooting for the stars here. Hey, dream big or go home. I just can't wait to make you mad.
Oh, you know the show, if we was on the back porch, you already know it would have been a fight.
I done made you cry a few times.
Oh, no, you ain't never made me cry. I done ran you off. So, girls' sports, we're going to do a lot of talking about girls' sports, and that's what this main thing is about, is digging in deep about women's sports. Now, the main thing I want people to know about this sports show, this is about fans in the stands. So I was a fan in the stand, and I always lived on the edge of being kicked out of games. I don't care what it was. I was about to get kicked out. What do you mean?
You saying that real light. You should have been kicked out.
Why you say that?
You would have been kicked out if I was running the show. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Get out of here.
I seen a ref about 3 months ago. I was like, hey, you remember me?
We ain't friends. I hope that's what he told you. We ain't friends. Don't be talking to him.
You know what he did?
What?
He took his hand, put it in the air, and flagged me off.
That's what he should have done. I'd have face smushed you.
And you know what I used to call him? You know what I used to call him?
What?
That's why he flagged me off. He had a head like a baby, so I used to call him baby head. He hated my guts. I've had a ref flip me off.
Baby head. Wow.
I used to accuse refs of being graduates of Booker T. Washington.
Oh,
God. So refs, I'm going to have refs on the show. One of the best refs I want on this show is Haywood Hill.
Haywood. You know nobody like you out there.
Haywood.
Everybody love and hate Haywood. What? Haywood will been in some controversies.
Haywood will make you choke him out.
Man. And he seems so cool when you see him without his referee shirt on, you know. You see him out, he cool. He's nice.
Let me give the audience a little background on Haywood Hill. So
they know.
My mama was the secretary for Bumpers Body Shop, who Mr. Bumpers is now the Reverend Bumpers, and I don't know what church he's at. Okay. But when me and my sister were little girls, we used to travel with Mr. Bumpers because him and Oral Roberts had a semi-pro team that traveled through the country. Mm-hmm. So the guys that were on Oral Roberts' team for the school was the guys who played on the semi-pro team in the summertime. So we would travel with the team because Mama was a secretary. Mm-hmm. So that's how I know Haywood Hill. So Haywood Hill and Mama were like best friends. Mm-hmm. And Haywood was always straight-laced and annoying. Mm-hmm. But they created one of the baddest teams that Oral Roberts ever had. We used to go to every game. We roller skate every Monday with the team. We traveled around the country with Oral Roberts. I mean, not with Oral Roberts' team. I mean, not with Oral Roberts, but with the semi-pro team. I got to ask Mama what the name of the semi-pro team is. But Haywood Hill, I want him on the show because I'm going to do him like I do you, like I'm going to do the other jerk that's going to come on the show. Because Haywood used to make me want to fight him.
Man.
Oh, God. There's a bunch of refs out there. What'd you say?
So just playing rec league. Haywood was something else. So.
Yeah, Haywood, but I mean, he even do 8-year-olds.
He's legendary. He's a Tulsa legendary referee.
Yes, he is. We're going to have refs on because one thing I learned, Reggie Reynolds, who was a coach, who was an AAU coach, and he did most of his coaching with girls. So let me brag a little bit about some of the coaches that created some of the best girl players in Tulsa. It's 3 of them.
Okay.
Blunt, Buck, and Reggie. All 3 of them were fundamentally driven coaches. You could not play on a team if you weren't going to master fundamentals. And Buck, Blunt, and Reggie had probably the top girl players in the state.
Okay.
And I don't think they ever got recognition. I want them to come on the show, too. Now, they used to razz Reggie all the time because Reggie kind of stole Savannah from them. But Blunt and Buck definitely were the beginnings of Savannah's success. But, I mean, they coached like Talia Mayberry and Mimi, Miracle Davis, and gosh, there's a whole bunch of them girls, and I can't think of their names right now.
Right.
But all of those girls, a lot of those girls went on to play in college. And to be honest with you, that's owed to those 3 guys because they definitely put these black girls on the map. And they mainly coach girls.
Right.
And they did a good job of it.
Right.
And I truly appreciate them. I used to go battle them too. I cussed them out like I cussed out refs. I didn't play. I didn't. But we're going to have them come on the show as well. I haven't reached out to them, but I will be doing that.
Okay.
There's other controversial topics out there. I got to make sure that it's all right that we be talking about those. But HBCUs versus PWIs.
Yes.
That's a hot
what
you
topic.
think about that? Let me let the audience know first. Historical black colleges and universities,
Right.
and predominantly white institutions.
Yeah.
So, what you think?
What I mean, of course. So I prefer to we go to our schools, the HBCUs. But as an athlete, I don't think. It's so tough. I mean, if more people, more kids would choose the HBCUs to go to school, then the competition levels will be there. We've had players come out of HBCUs that play professional level. I know some football players. I don't know really any basketball players. Not to say that there are none, but we've had some come out of there. But I just don't think if your thing is to be an athlete and to get noticed and have that competition level, I think the thing is to go to the top schools, the best school that'll take you, because they have athletic programs and things like that. They have training rooms. I mean, the athletic department is just so much. It's so put together. You know what I'm saying? And so I'd rather go there if my goal was to be an athlete. Now, if I was going for academic purposes strictly, HBCUs is where it's at. I mean, I don't think there's any comparing there academically in certain fields. But as an athlete, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I would like. I mean, in a perfect world, HBCUs would have all the top black athletes in the nation, and they'd be there competing, and nobody would care about the Big 12, the Pac-10, and all these other conferences. All the competition will be, in the HBCUs, Grambling State and all those places. So I mean, that's the perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world, and right now, everybody's going to the PWIs.
That's true. And I don't know. That's a sensitive topic for me. And I remember when Tony Green came to Tulsa to see Savannah play. Coach Tiffany Golightly, was a coach at Memorial when Savannah was there. And she called Tony to come and see Savannah and Mimi play, Miracle Davis play.
Okay.
And he watched him at Booker T. Washington. And he was like impressed. And so the next day, he stayed overnight. The next day, he came to Savannah's and practiced at Union High School. And he told us, he brought us into Tiffany's room and told us that his mission at Grambling was, like I said earlier, was to be the first HBCU to make it to the elite, at least the Elite Eight. And made me cry. So I was like, dang, that's what I want more than anything. I just want to see a black school with awesome athletes make it to the TOP. And that was their dream and their hope. And Savannah bought into it. And then when Tony them were removed from Grambling, and Tony went over to Texas Southern, he was under... Hey, we'll be right back. We got to get this down.
Segue better. Segue.
Yeah, I was like.
That was like, we'll be right back. Emma just cut it. No, I just want you to segue into.
I know. I was like.
No, you didn't know. She didn't know how to segue. We'll be right back.
I got some very little commercial in there.
The Greenwood legacy.
Do you think I can make it?
Get connected, involved, and support the Historic Greenwood Chamber of Commerce. Memberships are available online. Historic TulsaGreenwoodChamber.com.
Think so?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Greenwood Beat, WFPG.
Huh? Yeah.
To the Greenwood Beat.
Right.
This is the day that the Lord has made, with Referea Rogers, author and film producer of I Broke Out of Prison.
The Greenwood Beat, WFPG. I got Bernie with me tonight, and we're kind of getting ourselves warmed up to a new show that's on the Greenwood Beat. Right now we're talking about PWIs and HBCUs and One thing I'm going to make sure you guys know, I got a Facebook page. It's called the Referea. Go out and like that page. Go out and like that page, the Referea. I'll tell you a story about the Referea. It won't be tonight, but I'll tell you why that name came up and why it's in existence. It has to do with refs that hate my guts. But let's talk.
Okay. I think we left off on the PWI HBCU issue.
Yep.
Conversation. Like I said, that's one of those things, man. Like, it's a catch-22. It really is. It's a catch-22. Nobody really knows how to make that thing work. It'd be nice if somebody could try to make that work, but I think Deion Sanders tried it. He was trying to get it going down there, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if he didn't get along with the organization or if he just saw the opportunity to make more money at a PWI at one of the other schools. So I don't know really what was going on there, but he tried it. He gave it a good shot, and they were doing really good. They were winning. Yeah, they were winning. So so it's been tried. And that was probably the best effort that we've seen lately. But I don't know how we can make that thing work, like we're saying, like where we can get all the top athletes going in that direction. All the top black athletes in the nation going in that direction. I don't know how we get there. How do we start making them do that? Is it the colleges that are not recruiting hard enough, or is it
money?
But it was before money, because remember it was before the what we were just talking about, the NIL. So it was before the NIL, but
not even before the NIL. It's been money for black colleges, period. They just don't have the budget. Did you know that when Grambling came to Tulsa and played ORU and TU? Mm-hmm. I'm exaggerating the amount of money, but I'm gonna just say this is what they got paid. So a lot of these HBCUs and smaller schools end up going to these big colleges and playing them, and they pay them. They pay them like $100,000 to show up at a game. Mm. So their money is tight.
Yeah.
They riding, like Savannah at Mississippi State, they jet set.
Yeah.
They flying all over the country.
Right.
And then Grambling is on a bus that look like the Greyhound. So their budgets is off.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Talking about if you want to be an athlete, the PWI's got the sports programs. They got the money into the weightlifting facility, training facilities, their methods, their coaching, the meal plans, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So they got all that going on, and that's what you need. If you're trying to make it to the next level.
And that's true. One of the cool things being a mother of an athlete, and especially one that played on a major D1 level, one of the cool things that I did like about her having that opportunity was we got to do some good, fun stuff.
Right.
Cool stuff. Even at the HBCU level. I remember one time we were down at Texas Southern because they was trying to recruit Savannah, and the head coach at the time was Cynthia Cooper. A lot of people don't know who she is, but they compare her to she's the female version of Michael Jordan.
Hey, watch out now.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I've heard that before.
And Cynthia Cooper ain't no joke.
No. She's the real deal.
She's no joke. And she came to Tulsa. Didn't you go eat with us?
Yep.
She came to Tulsa, so she recruited Savannah. But what was I getting ready to say about her? You done made me lose train of thought.
You said she was the female Michael Jordan.
But now I can't even remember because you cut in trying to
diss on her. I did what I was supposed to do.
But I can't remember what I was going to say about Cynthia Cooper.
But that's all right.
Something to do with it.
When we talk about when we're talking about these sports and all that, when we talk about NIL, we're talking about college, we're talking about HBCUs and PWIs, and we're talking about these athletes. One thing that I just like to just put it out there, because so many people don't understand this statistic. So many of these young kids just put everything that they're doing into the sport, whatever it's basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is. And it just needs to be said, and it needs to be said over and over again, is that less than 1% of all college athletes will ever make it to the professional level. That's how good you got to be. So these kids that are making it to the D1 schools, most of them are going to be working next to you, in your corporate job somewhere. Most of them are.
Yep.
Most of them ain't going nowhere.
Yep. And I tell kids this all the time. You gotta work for what you want. You can't tell me when I used to teach, especially at Langston, kids would tell me, well, I'm gonna be a basketball player, I'm gonna be a football player. Well, how often do you practice? Well, only when I go to practice, or they don't master fundamentals. I see girls who only can shoot with their right hand or they can only shoot with their left hand. Those are skills you got to know. You have to know.
Yeah.
You have to know how to dribble the ball.
Right.
I see a lot of people that can't dribble.
Right.
And I remember when Savannah played. Savannah and Miracle Davis, to me, had a good chemistry when they were on the court. And so they could pick up on a kid. I remember one time we were playing Owasso, and this little girl was pretty good. But Mimi and Savannah had figured out that she could not dribble with her left hand. So one would go up and turn, and the other one would steal the ball.
Right.
So kids got to know those kind of skills. Those are fundamentals. You got to be smart, have a basketball IQ.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids don't have that.
Yeah. And that's what separates you from going professional or working at a call center.
Exactly. And, I tell kids this all the time, especially when I was at Langston. God, because I don't know how many pro basketball players was going to come out of Langston. And I used to tell them all the time, hey, look here. There's a whole bunch of people that pick up garbage, work in the office at the city of Tulsa, work at a daycare.
Right. They need
that
to
was going to go pro.
They need to hear that.
They need to go pro.
Those dudes are insanely good. They are insanely good if they make it to that pro level. I mean, it's insane. The fastest running backs. I mean, you got guys in the NFL that their 40 times are what some of these college. Their 40 times as linemen are better than some of these guys at running backs in college. That's how good. That's how fast these people are. They big. They strong. They fast, they can jump higher, they can jump the highest. That's the reason why they make it to that level, Yeah. And I just think it needs to be said and reiterated to our youth, saying that there's more than one ways to make $1 million or to make a good living, a decent living. There's people that you don't even know of, millionaires and they own 10 garbage trucks.
Yep.
They do regular things like that. I just want to just kind of put that out there while we're talking about sports because this whole thing is about sports. I just want to
women's sports.
About women's sports, women's sports. While we're talking about it, I just want to put that out there. Now, how many? I don't know. What are the numbers on how many college? That's something I want to look into. How many college female athletes go to the professional level? I mean, is it more than the men, or is it less, or I know the pay discrepancy is there because they're not getting paid as much.
The fan base. Women's sports have come a long, long, long way.
Right.
Period.
It has.
Women's sports has been truly neglected because when I played, it was 6-on-6.
Yeah, y'all had it bad.
We was half court. We used to stand there with our hands on our hip waiting for them to bring the ball to throw across.
That is insane to think about.
Court line.
I would like to see some video of this. There's got to be some vintage video.
There is some video.
Somewhere.
I pulled it up so that my kids could see it. They was cracking
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, 6-on-6 basketball was ridiculous.
Wow.
I was like, this is so unfair that we can't run across the line. What is this? What is this?
That's wild to even think about. How did they even come up with that? Why did they think that was even effective? Like, who did this? Like, what?
Well, Coach Mooney told me at Nimitz Middle School, the reason why girls could not run across the line is men thought that we would be out of breath too quick.
Wow.
But he was always drunk at practice, too. I don't even know why I even listened to him.
So they'd be too out of breath.
Yeah, he said, y'all would be too out of breath. This is the way y'all need to play.
That's kind of how it is in the WNBA, though. They might need to go back to half court 6-on-6.
Oh, boo. Oh, boo.
No, I'm playing.
Another controversial topic. I don't know how deep we're going to dig into this, but I think it's something we do have to bring up because it brings out emotions, especially in women's sports. Transgender.
Oh, man.
Girls. That is an important topic,
man,
that I think right now is blowing up. It might blow up in people's faces.
Right.
And I won't talk about that, but I won't talk about that. I might need a psychologist with that one. Mm-hmm. I'm going to find me one so that, Because that's a deep conversation. What you think?
I mean, my hot take is this. I don't think if you transgender from man to a woman, I don't think you should be playing women's sports. That's just me personally. And in my opinion, it seems to only be going that way. I mean, you don't see any transgender women, transitioning from women to men, trying to join men's sports. It seems to only be going one direction. I could be wrong, but it just seems to, that's what we see. So, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think, I ain't got nothing against the trans, community, LGBTQ community or whatever. I don't have anything against them. Y'all do what you want to do. But I think when it comes to sports, I think, the men, whatever your gender was at birth is what you should stay. And me personally, I just think that you have an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
You just have an unfair advantage. Men are stronger. Even you take a man at the same height, same weight as a woman, and we're stronger. And
it's true. And I'm a girly girl to a degree, but I'm an Ellie Mae Clampett too.
Right.
And I like sports. I played sports. But there's some things that I'm not going to go dig into. I'm not going to go play football.
Right.
And I'm not going to go box a man.
Right.
And I remember being at Bell's Amusement Park when I was in middle school. And this woman called herself slapping her boyfriend. And they were over there by those cars. And anyway, she was a big old woman. She had to be like close to 300 pounds. And this is when I knew that men had unbelievable strength that a woman could never compare to. He slapped her, she slapped him, and caught him off guard, and his reflex whooped her tail. He put that big old woman on the floor, on the ground.
It just shows, but we don't even need that example.
And he's a little bitty man.
We just know that men are, genetically, this is genetics, genetically stronger or faster, than women are. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, it literally is not even close. Now, there are some anomalies, there's some, I'm not going to go out there and be able to beat a Jamaican female track star in a foot race, I'm not going to be able to do it.
You ain't going to be able to beat Serena.
Right. Facts.
That's a head game.
Facts. But I'm just saying, somebody on that level, on a professional level like that, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Men and women at that level, So, so when we talk about that, I just think we just need to keep make sure that men stay in their assigned gender at birth when it comes to sports. Everything else I don't really care about, but I just think you just have such an unfair advantage playing against women. That's not. I remember when we used to do Taekwondo when we were younger. There was this girl. Girls are stronger when we're younger, though. We 10, 8 years old, girls be whooping us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all bigger than us. Y'all done already hit puberty and everything at 10, 11 years old. We ain't even got hair underneath our armpits yet, and man, and y'all just whooping. There was this girl that used to whoop up on us, boy.
Audrey.
Yes. Boy, that girl used to give us the business.
That girl was a killer.
Yeah, but till we got that one summer, when we came back and we was 13 and, we was taller than her and she was getting the business. We couldn't wait to give her that work. We hit that growth spurt on it, like I said, once things evened out, it wasn't even no more. just straight up, So I'm just saying, like, that right there just proves my point. That girl used to whoop us to death. She used to give all the boys the work.
She did.
At every tournament, that girl was tough. She used to everybody. I mean, all across the state.
She was beating grown women.
All across the state, this girl was whooping dudes. So I'm not even joking. But like I said, that one summer when we hit that growth spurt, like I said, and it just wasn't the same no more. So that just goes to prove you right there, that men are just genetically stronger than women are. What I'm saying? That girl used to kill us, and then we turned around and she wasn't even nothing for us. That was like fighting your little brother or something, after we hit that growth spurt. So that's just an example of me proving why I think that to just make the case for why I'm saying that men need to stay in men's sports, even if they transition into being a woman.
Or maybe the option could be transgender have their category.
I mean, that could be a category too, but it's just so few of them that they even want to do sports, I think, It's not a lot of them, I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but I'm going to look that up
right.
when we get to that topic.
Right.
But I'm not going to speak on it like severely because
Right.
I want to know. I want to read a little bit more about it.
Me too.
But I just know if a war comes, I'm going to cook all the men beans and get them some water and stuff. I'm not going to war. There's just some things this girl is not going to do.
Right.
Because I remember when I was in middle school, I used to go to 64th and Newport and play football every Saturday morning with the boys. And I'd tear them apart. But then I got older and they got older. And it wasn't the same game anymore. It wasn't
Right.
the same game anymore. So, you learn the hard way. Hey, no. Wait a minute. Y'all just about made me slow in the head.
That's what I was saying. That's what happened to Audrey. I bet that's how she was feeling. I knew it was over.
So we got some good stuff that's going to happen and that's coming in on the horizon. One cool thing that I got to say that's going to happen next week, I won't be in the station. I'll be in the world.
Oh, Lord.
I'll be flying Air France to Paris.
Wow.
And I will be going with the Auburn University women's basketball program. So next week, I will be interviewing that program for the show. Then we're going to come back because there's some cool people that I want to bring on the show. Okay. Marla Mayberry. Marla Mayberry she's a pastor at Antioch, but she had 5 girls that played basketball and got free rides. One is at KU right now. I think the other one is at ORU. Another one went to ORU, and another one went to TU, and one went to TU. They all over the place.
Right.
So they Big 12 girls. I'm going to have Marla Mayberry on. I already talked to her. We just got to set up time and date to make sure that they happen. I'm also going to have Angel Davis. Angel Davis gave birth to Miracle Davis, who played basketball at Texas Southern. And then I'm going to have Sally Perez. Sally Perez, if I'm not mistaken, was a graduate from Tennessee, where Pat Summitt was. And Sally's son played with Savannah. Son and daughter played with Savannah at Memorial. And Sally's son is now an assistant women's coach at the University of Montana, I think. When she get here, we'll find out. But Devin and Savannah are real tight. Devin actually coached at Mizzou, and he actually coached at Marquette. And I want to say another college, and I can't remember which one it is. But I want Sally on the show because her son works in women's sports. And I think that's cool. I have a son that did a little bit of work in women's sports, but he did it on the backside, the management side.
Yeah.
I want women to know that you don't necessarily have to play sports, but you can work in the sports world.
Right.
There are things you can do, like be a team manager and get a full ride. I got a cousin that got a full ride at TU as a team manager for TU. So there's some cool things that girls and women are going to learn about sports that I'm going to bring to the table, and we're going to keep it all in the neighborhood. We're going to grow out of. Go ahead.
And there was something else that you just said that you wanted to talk about on the show as well. I don't know if you said you wanted to talk about on the show, but was talking about women, mothers of athletes, and teaching them some things about the ins and outs of how to get the kids recruited, and different other techniques that need to be known, because a lot of women didn't even start paying attention to sports until their son or their daughter was involved.
Until 6-on-6 basketball was on.
Right. Nobody was paying attention to that. I want to see what them ticket sales was like. Man.
Yeah, you know what? When Savannah was in middle school, I realized then, I said, she's not getting the attention she needs. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Savannah, when she decided not to dance anymore, and she wanted to play basketball, I was mad about it. And so I watched her play basketball one day, and she shot the ball over the net at the North Maybe. over the goal at the North Maybe. And I knew right then I wasn't going to watch no more of this basketball. I was at North Maybe just to socialize with parents. I was like, so I spent most of the time talking to the parents in the stands. And So one day we were late getting to this basketball game, and Blunt was calling me. You need to hurry and get here. You need to hurry and get here. We need Savannah. I was like, they need Savannah? They need Savannah? What? I watched her, and I was surprised at how good she was. So by the time she made it 7th, 8th grade, she was good enough that big schools were looking at her when we traveled. So I decided to put her in camps, and that's how she got discovered on a national level. So we definitely going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
We're going to also talk about, let me remind you, because the show is getting ready to come to an end, I want to remind you that I have a Facebook page. It's the Referea. We'll learn about the Referea, what that means, how that got started. That'll be in the future. We got special guests coming in. Next week, I'm going to be in Paris.
Man, we need to pray for Paris. We need all the prayer warriors to say a word for Paris. Is Heather or the Referea enters international airspace. Good Lord, I can't believe they even letting you in there.
And then I just want to let people know that my show is actually going to be on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., not Wednesdays at 7 p.m. It's going to be Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, you'll be listening to the Referea on the Greenwood Beat, WFPG. So tune in and listen, because we're going to have some good stuff happen on this show.
It sounds like it. It sounds like
And we're going to have some people come on that's going to be common. They're going to be characters. We're going to make some stuff happen. We're going to talk about sports, real sports with women.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that we keep you abreast of what's happening. I want to definitely bring on Ava to talk about being a gymnast, because she actually is a self-taught gymnast. Ended up going to what school? What gym?
Aim high.
Aim High. Aim High.
That's it. Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, and we'll be back next week, 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Make sure you tune in every Tuesday for